Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Melita and I am the CEO of Prism Business Services, a boutique firm that provides business consultation, notary signing services, and tax filing. I'm making this video today to provide some clarity about a trending tax topic involving the American Rescue Plan Act. There's a lot of news circulating regarding new reporting requirements for users of Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, and other peer-to-peer mobile payment services. Beginning January 1st, 2022, these mobile payment services will be required to send Form 1099-K to a lot more people. Form 1099-K reports payment card and third-party network activity from payment settlement entities that process credit card payments and send funds directly to users. First, let's take a look at what Form 1099-K actually is. Form 1099-K includes the gross amount of all reportable payment transactions that an individual has received from customers who use credit cards to pay for services. While Form 1099-K was previously only required if there were more than 200 transactions or gross payments exceeded $20,000, some people might be familiar with this form because some payment settlement entities automatically sent it out even if you received far less than $20,000. Some examples of individuals who might have received Form 1099-K under the previous rules are Etsy sellers, Lyft and Uber drivers who accept credit card payments, small business owners who accept credit card payments, freelance professionals who receive credit card payments for their services, or payments through PayPal or use services like Upwork, or any other professionals who accept credit card payments for any of the services or products that they provide. Under the old rules, an individual would not usually have received Form 1099-K for monetary transactions on these new peer-to-peer mobile payment services like Venmo and Cash App, unless those transactions exceeded $20,000. However, to be clear, since mobile payment services are often used to send money to friends and family for things other than professional services, the assumption by many is that payments received through these services would not be reportable for tax purposes. So, to clarify, the passage of the American Rescue Plan Act does not change the fact that money transfers to friends and family are not necessarily reportable. The passage of this act also does not change the fact that money transfers for professional services are reportable as taxable income. If you're self-employed, if you're a gig worker, or if you're someone who utilizes mobile payment services in the course of doing business, the money you receive for services you provide as a business are considered taxable income, whether you receive $600 or $20,000. If you're conducting business, the income you receive from that business is taxable by law. So what's happening is that instead of these companies being required to send this form only if you exceed $20,000 in payments received, now they're going to be required to send the form if there are transactions that exceed $600. If you've been using mobile payment services as a business owner, freelance worker, gig worker, and not reporting that income, you've been evading taxes, whether you've received Form 1099-K or not. I realize that a lot of people might be using payment services and payment settlement entities under the assumption that they're not regulated. But if you file taxes as a self-employed individual or a business owner, you are required to report all income. And you're subject to penalties if you're audited and you're found to be underreporting or overreporting income. Now that we've cleared that up, let's talk about the people who use mobile payment services like PayPal or Zelle to send money to friends and family. I've noticed that Venmo recently added a feature that lets you select whether you are sending money to pay for a product or service. And if you're just sending money to friends and family, they're not asking you to select this option. You should, however, use the memo feature when you send money to friends and family to write a short note about what the money is for. If you're sending a few dollars to a friend, write a gift just because. This way, if your friend ends up receiving Form 1099-K and there's an assumption that they need to pay taxes on the money that they've received through these transactions, they can go through their transactions and they can go through their records and they can deduct the payments that were just personal gifts and not taxable payments for services. So far, I've only noticed this change on Venmo. I know that PayPal has always kind of asked if you are sending money for products or services or if you're just sending money to a friend or a family member. But other payment services like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, they are probably going to start adding similar features soon. So you should be on the lookout for that. With that said, you might encounter service providers who ask you to select the friends and family option instead of the option that indicates that a transaction is payment for a product or service. You can use your best judgment, but just know that on the receiving end, this request is tax evasion and fraud. So if you're a service provider, I do not recommend asking people to lie. Keep in mind that the IRS is expecting an increase in audits for the 2022 tax filing season. I posted about this a little bit on my social network pages, but just know that in 2021, there were about 40% of tax reports that were, or tax returns, that were audited. And the IRS has already said that they're expecting that number to increase to about 50%. They are hiring auditors, and they're getting ready to comb through these returns very carefully because we have things like the child tax credit, the recovery rebates. There's all kind of things going on. They're going to be checking, and so you should be careful. So, Form 1099-K is going to be sent out for transactions over $600. And this is for taxable income from self-employment and gig work, etc. This does not mean that sending money to friends and family will automatically result in being taxed like crazy. My advice to self-employed individuals and people who utilize mobile payment services is to really protect yourself by keeping excellent record of all of your business operations and financials. There are services like QuickBooks. There are website hosting services with built-in accounting features, and you can also use detailed invoices to keep track of your transactions. You should be doing this anyway, and I'm sure that a lot of you know that, but it's really important, especially now for like startup businesses and people who earn income doing hobbies. It's important that you keep receipts and really keep track of your transactions in case you are audited. Remember, as a business owner, money received on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, it's not free money. It's not free money. It is taxable. And you should have been reporting this income on a Schedule C or other tax filing documents. I mean, most of you probably are. And in the news, this is kind of being blown up as this huge issue. But for a lot of us who are doing the right thing, this is nothing new. It's just a different amount that will be reported by these companies and sent directly to you. This change is ultimately meant to reduce underreported tax income in order to close the tax gap and increase tax compliance. It's not supposed to create more of a headache for you if you're already operating your business with good accounting practices. There is a lot of discussion about the changes that are going to go into effect on January 1st, including whether the American Rescue Plan Act violates the privacy of U.S. citizens by giving the government a little too much access to personal bank accounts, in the process of requiring these banks to report the highest balance and aggregate or combined deposits and withdrawals. And so what's happening is if you're receiving Form 1099-K, then the assumption is that these companies are keeping an eye on what's being sent where, who's withdrawing money, what these bank accounts really have in them. So some state leaders don't like this, and they're challenging the passage of the act. So I'd advise you to keep an eye on any changes or adjustments surrounding the American Rescue Plan Act. I'll be sure to give an update if there are any significant changes that go into effect. But for more tax advice and for personal tax preparation and filing that will optimize your tax position, hit subscribe. Go to my social network pages at Prism Business on Facebook, Instagram, on LinkedIn, and you can also visit prismbusiness.com, and I will link that in the description box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you are in business networking groups, make sure that you share it so that you all have a thorough understanding of the changes that will be taking place, and you can be informed and get this information out where necessary. Okay, so thank you for watching and take care.